Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. It's 6:44, having some streaming issues on Facebook, but we're going to get through it. I'm on YouTube. That's where I am if you're watching me right now. Our temperatures right now are right around 34 degrees. That's where we are. If you're on the call, let me know. I do see a good icy morning from, looks like Scotty V. Thank you, Scotty. Good icy morning. We have plenty of that. We'll hopefully work out the issues with Facebook. But in the meantime, thank you for finding me on this platform. We'll have this be able to available. Steve Stone says, good icy Friday morning. He's got the teeth that's chattering. I think that's probably true. But you'll notice the temperatures behind me. We got 34 in Knoxville, 34 in Oak Ridge. But you said the high was going to be 35. Yeah, you only have a degree to go. It's actually going to trend downward today. So by 8 o'clock, we probably hit our maximum temperature. And many of us, or some like Sevierville, already 36. Take this full screen. You can see it's 36 degrees in Athens, Madisonville. It's 34 in Oak Ridge and 28 in Crossville. So these are our current readings, but you throw in the wind, and you know there's a wind because it's going to post, the front's already passing by. So we actually feel like it's 27. Feels like 19 in Oneida, 16 Jamestown, and 17 in Crossville. But let's get to the nuts and bolts. How much precipitation is still falling? Well, based on this, not much at all. This is a review over the last 6 hours, and you can see there's still quite a bit of snow in parts of Kentucky, across the Commonwealth. But there's still maybe some flurries that are going to linger this morning here in the valley, maybe even a few passing snow showers, but I don't expect much more. This is again, not a valley event in terms of snow. We had our valley event with the icing. I even posted a picture of some icing just on a windshield last night around 11 o'clock. So it was icy, and I made the venture outside last evening just to drive to see how bad it was. It was pretty slick. And I lived in Rochester, New York for 4 years, so I was used to crazy weather. But even that last night was pretty dicey. So please be extra careful. Any little bit of light glaze could have made issues a lot worse for some who are on the roads. But you can clearly see the blue, which is the snow, is still centered across Kentucky and back towards, say, Bowling Green, where there might be more snow showers headed toward the plateau. But as far as the ultimate Doppler radar is concerned, we don't see a whole lot more color, which we'll get into with the winter weather advisories and the wind chill concerns. But the ultimate Doppler radar presented by Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, serving East Tennessee now since 1953. They've been doing this now for 70 years. So if you need a great set of tires this winter, check them out, madlocktire.com. And you can see basically we're looking at Kingston Pike. They've got a location there in Knoxville, one in Maryville on the Foothills Parkway, or Foothills Plaza, excuse me. Little City also have a location. They have one in Athens and one in Hardin Valley, so you have 5 convenient locations. And maybe you don't need a set of tires. Maybe you just need an oil change. You can get in, get out in a quick hurry. You can even register or schedule your appointment online so you don't have to wait as long. So very cool to check out Madlock. Now, I haven't changed this forecast, but keep in mind, this is a forecast that's halfway done, right? So I don't like to criticize or throw darts at a forecast that I make myself, because that's how I get better. That's how I get better. I look back and say, what could I have done different? But we're not even into this category yet. So the second half, which is really today, tonight, and into Saturday to some extent, the heavier snows in blue will be areas around Clingman's Dome, Newfound Gap, and Chimney Tops. There could have very well been already 1 to 3 inches in parts of southeast Kentucky, or 2 to 5 in Harlan County, but this thing is still halfway through, and it's like I like to say, you don't judge, I hope you don't judge, a football game at halftime, because there's another half still yet to be played. So you can't declare a victor of who won until the game is over. And I think this is what will run through Friday that we're seeing. I got a couple of notes from you if you're on the call. Scotty V said, good icy morning. Dennis Hatcher, good morning. We have 32 degrees in Dandridge this morning with icy conditions. It's pretty slick. There's no getting around that. Ice. Wanda Poe says it's icy in Newport. Be careful going to do anything. This is why our friends at the National Weather Service issued a winter weather advisory. Some folks immediately assume that it's got to be all snow. But not in this case. If you read the details, right? The devil's in the details. If you read the fine print, they were very clear that this was a mixing event, and that was my expectation. All in pink, with ice, with sleet, freezing rain, very little snow will stick out of this event. And you might be wondering why the Smokies get all the snow. It's because they're in higher elevations. They're much colder. I mean, look at comparison. Knoxville barely reaches 900 feet, 886 above sea level in Knoxville. And this doesn't change from year to year, y'all. It stays the same. So it's not like we're suddenly going to be like Clingman's Dome tomorrow. You would have to ascend over almost 6,000 additional feet to get that high, which is why they get all the extra snow. And the precipitation type that you and I experienced last night, in many cases, was all complements of a warm tongue of air that came in the mid-levels. So at 3,000, 5,000 feet, it got warm. So we either had some sleet, we had some freezing rain, or a combination of both, which creates icy conditions on and underfoot. Getting back to the temperatures, it's 6:49. I hope to be done here right after 7. Only on YouTube this morning. That was not by design. I hope to have that fixed live at streaming. We'll get that worked out. But anyway, wanted to pose on here. Dennis Hatcher is on here as well. But our temperatures, as you can see, clear and far away, mid-30s. So we're above freezing. We didn't barely got above freezing yesterday. Yesterday, we got up to, believe, 33 in the afternoon was one of the reports from the Weather Service. But we're at 32 now in Morristown, 28 in Crossville. It is currently 30 in Wartburg and 28 in Oneida. You throw in the winds, which we can examine. It's a breezier day today. Today's winds should be about 5 to 15, could easily gust 25, 30 on hilltops. I think that's certainly a reasonable expectation. Gusts 25, 30 on hilltops, so the winds will be more of a factor today. May very well make it feel much more blustery going into the afternoon as well. But 8-mile-an-hour wind sustained at the moment. We have a 14 sustained wind there in Crossville and 11 in Sevierville. As far as the winds chill, as I mentioned, it feels like 27. Feels like 28 in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and actually feels like it's 16 in Jamestown. Got another note from Marilyn Bell. Good morning, Marilyn. I know if YouTube, hey, if you have like a Fire Stick, or the technology is beyond me in some cases, but you could get it on a big screen on YouTube. So glad that you're here. Marilyn says, please, folks, be extra careful. Roads are dangerous in spots, very slick at our house. It is slip. I mean, you could slip and fall just going down the driveway down to the mailbox if that's what you had to do. So please don't take it for granted. These icy conditions occurred while many of us might have been home inside at night, and then you go, yeah, I just assumed it was the same. No, it's actually might have gotten even worse in some cases, so please be extra careful. Now, what about the temperature change? This will surprise you. Maybe it not surprise you, but it's actually 23 degrees warmer now than it was at 6 o'clock yesterday. I mean, it looks like a blowtorch. You'd think we'd had some kind of heat wave. Heat wave. No, it's not that. It's not that. 31 in La Follette. That 31 degrees warmer in La Follette compared to yesterday at this time. It's only 10 degrees warmer in Cumberland County, but given the fact that it's cold, but not as cold, that's what this is more representative of, the fact that we've seen a big jump in temperature, but it's going to tumble much more rapidly tonight. Wind gusts, I see those moving, or actually around the Smokies, are maybe over 25, 30, 33 there. So there are some wind gusts that might be pretty gusty. Now, as far as our temperatures around the region, it's 30 in Nashville, 38 in Chattanooga, and we got 32 in Johnson City. Those are our current readings as you head out the door if you had to travel or had to be somewhere for work or, well, dare I say school, because some folks may be on the road trying to get to a college or what have you. Meanwhile, radar still showing the snow around Bowling Green. Some of that will wrap around Cookeville. May find a home in Jamestown today, where snow showers may be more prevalent. But notice the radar shows more of the snow back toward Ohio, West Virginia, Indiana, so we're not the only one dealing with winter weather. Look at this. It's snowing very decently, steadily in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Philadelphia. Philadelphia's getting some good snow now along the I-95 corridor, and you can see the concern for hard freezes and dark purple and the wind chill, which we're getting here in just a second. But the Ultimate Doppler radar, again, highlighting it, we have a winter weather advisory until 7 o'clock tonight. That doesn't mean we're getting pounded with snow. It just simply means we have ice underfoot, maybe a few pesky snow showers and lingering flurries during the course of today. I have a 30% chance of precipitation today, and most of it would be of the flake variety because the mixing is trying to work its way out. The front has now begun to move to the east. So the mixed precipitation and freezing rain expectation from the Weather Service is still in their wording. Up to 1 inch is their expression. My forecast hasn't changed. Mine's independent of theirs, but I just wanted to show you. This runs until 9 a.m. this morning for Crossville. So you only have about 2 hours and 7 minutes left for Jamestown Crossville. So this winter weather advisory will be ending for the plateau in just about 2 hours and 7 minutes. But for us in Knoxville, it runs till 7 p.m. tonight, 7 p.m. today, but really tonight. And then on Saturday, for the Smokies, it runs till 7 a.m. If you tilt your head, you'll see it says until 7 a.m. There it is. Until 7 a.m. Saturday with gusts of 40. but that doesn't take into account the other challenge. Now, yes, 1 to 4 plus is how they worded it, with a light glaze, maybe an additional light glaze of ice, a possibility. But here's what you may not have known, that we in Knoxville are now under a wind chill advisory. Well, technically not right now. Doesn't start until 11 o'clock tonight. But 11 o'clock tonight till noon is when this will run for wind chills as low as -10. So if you look at those time frames, 11 p.m., okay, that's the goalpost, and noon, well, that means tomorrow morning could be the worst, right? I'm expecting lows around 7, but you could have wind chills that are -5, -7, or even -10, based on the elevation and based on the expectation from the National Weather Service. So the wind chill advisory is one element. There's a wind chill warning for the Smokies, which I'll get to here in just a second. I want to say hi to you if you're on YouTube. That's where I am today. Facebook having some issues, but I'll get that worked out. Scotty here, Steve is here, Dennis, Wanda, and Marilyn. Love the fact if you're watching, just give me a shout out, because again, I'm normally on both platforms, but this morning I am on just YouTube at this moment. Wind chill advisory, 11 p.m. tonight till noon on Saturday. That's going to be a real trouble spot for those who have to be somewhere tomorrow. Now, the wind chill warning does start sooner, not 11 o'clock tonight. It starts at 7. So 7 p.m. tonight till noon Saturday for wind chills as low as -20. And I just showed you on the winter weather advisory, they expect gusts around 40. So, I mean, the wind's going to be blowing, and the wind chills are going to be brutal. Please be extra careful if you're spending any time outside. That wind will cut through you. I think the real test is if you ever have to pump gas in this type of weather. If you're low on gas and you have to be somewhere, if you're standing there for 2 or 3 minutes pumping gas, waiting for this thing to fill up, it can be brutal. This wind can cut right through you, and it could feel very, very bad. The winds will also allow and transport all the heat that you have right out into space. It's going to be why it's so important to have a scarf, earmuffs, if you needed a hat, because the wind will push that layer of heat away from our bodies. So just some tips: limit time outdoors, watch out for frostbite. It can occur in minutes. And hypothermia, another issue with a low body temperature. So make sure all your exposed skin is covered up if you have to go outside. So glad that you all are here on YouTube. Here are my headlines at 6:56. Flurries for most, snow showers for some, Plateau and Smokies, and I think mountain flakes more persistent on Saturday. We'll take a look at that too. But the frigid weekend lows will also steal the show, because if we're actually above freezing right now. This is the warmest it's going to be for quite some time, until we reach, well, what time when we get above freezing? We won't get above freezing until Monday. So we're kind of at that, right at the cusp of above freezing now. So about 36 in Sevierville, 34 in Knoxville. So we're above freezing now, but we won't get, as we drift below that in the next couple of hours, we won't come back up for air, so to speak, until Monday, later Monday. It's going to take some time before we actually get back above freezing over time. Pavement temperatures, something to look at too. If it got really warm on the street, if it got really warm on those roads, we'd have more melting taking place. But you can see even tonight, we're back in the teens and 20s, so a lot of this snow and ice is probably not going anywhere fast. Tomorrow I expect a partly sunny Saturday. Think of like clouds and hazy sun. But temperatures will, maybe street temperatures modeling back into the 30s and 20s, so it stays very, very cold. Sunday morning, I drop us down to 4. The pavement temperatures could also be in the single digits, but at least Sunday is sunny. Sunday is, in fact, sunny. So you're going to find lots of sun. Afternoon, those high clouds will increase. We call it mostly sunny. But the morning, just bright and sunny. That will allow us to drop down to about 4 degrees to start the day on Sunday. So pretty dangerously cold air still coming back into play. Right now we're at 34. We have a southwest wind at 8. And we have a wind chill of 27 degrees. I got a couple of notes from you. Good evening, good morning. I've lost track of time. It's been the whole weather week, but you can hopefully shed some grace on me. I didn't even say evening, but I mean morning. Let's see here. Wanda Post says it's blowing some snow lightly. I'm on the other side of Newport. And Scotty V says, how much ice did Knoxville get last night? They pointed at 0.08, and they recorded it as rain and some light freezing rain. So about 8/100ths of an inch, rather, of both the combination of rain. The breakdown can be found in the observations, but I can tell you that it was pretty light overall. Judy Kerr says, good morning, Captain. Thank you for all you do to keep us safe. Well, again, I can just, I can lead the horse to water. I can't make them drink. I can tell folks to stay off the roads, but they're going to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I was just bold enough to try it because I'm pretty well versed in a Jeep Wrangler to handle some of the so nice. But it was pretty slick, I'll tell you. And if you're fishtailing, you got to make sure that you're away from other cars, because you may very well hit another vehicle or a standing object like a utility pole, and you don't want to do that. Now, it is approaching 7 o'clock, so we're still at 34. That wind looked like it changed to 9 there. But today, here's my planner. It kind of flatlines until we get down to about maybe 4 or 5, where we're back in the 20s. So if you're looking at the thermometer hour by hour, you may not see a whole lot of movement in the next few hours through lunchtime. But gradually, from west to east, it'll get back in the 20s. Some, obviously, in the plateau will get to the 20s a lot faster because the front moved from west to east. Temperatures will drop from west to east. Precipitation chances today about a 30%. It was 80% last night. So if the question is it going to get worse? It's going to get better. I mean, as far as the active precipitation, there'll be less of it in the valley, but the snow showers in that horseshoe configuration will continue. But the chance of rain goes back up Wednesday to 60%, and on Thursday it goes up to 80%. We could have some thunderstorms maybe on the strong side of the table. Keep an eye on that. 42 right now in Raleigh. Sounds pretty warm. 58 in Destin. I want to go there, some of you are thinking. Maybe 57 in Orlando sounds warm, but they're -7 in Rapid City, and it's -2 right now in Des Moines. Focus on the purple for me. It's also -2 in Caribou, but focus on the purple areas, because that will translate to some very cold negative air in some cases, single-digit wind chills for sure, as it tries to work its way down toward Knoxville this weekend. So you see a lot of purple coming into D.C., New York, even Knoxville, 5 o'clock Saturday. We're still starting Saturday in the single digits, and then we really fall with a big area of high pressure down to about 4 on Sunday. Eventually we warm up. Thankfully, these red arrows come back to town. That'll be a nice thaw. We'll actually say goodbye to the snow and ice. And then once we move into after the 26th or so of, say, January, I think as we head into February, there will be more opportunities for snow and cold to come back. And you can see that purple up there toward the Great Lakes. It will rotate in and out, and so it goes. Winter has a lot. See that spin there? There's still going to be opportunities for southern sliders and more snow potentially in Knoxville. Here's another look at the futurecast, or maybe the first look, because I want to show you too a closer view. You can see some of that snow in the Smokies. Look at Kentucky, pretty much covered in blue. And if you're waiting for it to get to Knoxville, it may skip a beat in the old horseshoe effect pattern, because it kind of comes in pretty aggressively. Crossville, Jamestown, where some of those areas I expected a ½ inch up to 2, but 10 a.m. it may be snowing in Crossville at that hour, maybe not a whole lot Knoxville, just simply because of the configuration. Then by 11 a.m. maybe a few more snow showers, then it starts to break up after 12 noon. There's 3 o'clock, 3:15, and by 5 o'clock it's pretty much stick a fork in it, it's done. I think it's done, except for the Smokies. Smokies just keeps on seeing snow into Saturday. It lingers here, it lingers there. Look at that. 1:45. It's still snowing around Greenville, perhaps, or certainly the Tri-Cities, and maybe even to, say, Klingman's Dome. So 2:30 Saturday, still snowing. 3:30 Saturday, it's still snowing in the Smokies, all because of the upsloped snow. So we have that configuration, and then this wind continues, and it rises up, causes the squeezing out of the flakes more rapidly, while we are just bystanders on the snow. I think it's, again, partly sunny tomorrow and very cold. Temperatures tomorrow in the lower 20s. High pressure comes in Sunday morning. We're down to about 4. All the heat, if we have any heat, will go right out into space with this big area of high pressure on Sunday. So that's the way things are shaping up. And I have this slowly moving just to give you an illustration. It's overhead. Well, certainly on Sunday afternoon. Temperatures on Sunday, however, should make it toward about 30 degrees. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then here comes the rainmaker for us, going into eventually, I believe, Wednesday especially. All right, so here we go, Wednesday, Thursday. Now here's another look at the snow showers. Who gets it? 9:30, not a whole lot. Back toward Jamestown, this model has much less output in terms of snow, but the clouds are with us. Think of it as a mostly cloudy day. I got a couple of notes from Wanda Poe. She's checking over here. I'm looking at this. But by the end of the day, you'll notice we're back into the upper 20s by the end of the afternoon. Scotty B asked how much ice. We covered that. Wanda says it's blowing lightly with some snow. Wanda says, will you be on tomorrow? Keep us updated. No, it's family time for you. Yeah, if there's not a whole lot of weather going on, it's a weekend. I will be posting on the premium side quite a bit, but I will keep you updated as best I can. There's not a whole lot when you talk about most of the snow in the Smokies, but if you're aware of what they're going to get, which is, again, 2 to 5 inches plus, I think there will be much higher totals, no doubt, in Mount LeConte and Klingman's Dome than other locations in the Smokies. It's all going to be higher depending on elevation. Now, as far as tonight is concerned, watch our temperatures drop once we still see a mostly cloudy sky tonight. We're down to about 6 in Kingston. I have us down to about 7. The Oak Ridge is 7. I think we'll flirt with 7 degrees tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Warm back up to about 16 at lunchtime. And then by the time we reach the end of the afternoon, only about 21, maybe a 22 there in Oak Ridge and Tellico Plains. So tomorrow is, in fact, a frigid day from top to bottom. There's just no question about that. Then we start the clearing process. Saturday night, we have mostly clear skies, and we drop down to about 4. There could be some 1s in Morristown. There could be some 1s in Jamestown and Wartburg, or 2 in Oneida. So it's going to be very cold by 6, 7 a.m. on Sunday, even more to the tune than Saturday. So clouds, mostly cloudy today. Flurries for most, snow showers for others, mainly for the Plateau and Smokies where snow showers will be more persistent. Winds 5 to 15, gusting 25, perhaps 30 on hilltops. Here's another look at the temperatures around the region. 29 Middlesboro, 35 Morristown, 28 for Jamestown and Crossville today, about 34 in Kingston. That's my expectation, 36 in Sevierville. We're already there. In many cases, we may have already hit the high temperature for you. But today, 36 for Chattanooga. If you're traveling westbound, it's colder. If you're traveling eastbound to Charlotte, they're in the 40s. So it's milder. And if you're headed down toward Augusta, Georgia, they should be in the lower 50s. 7 degrees tonight, mostly cloudy. The snowflakes will, in fact, linger, especially for the mountains. And winds will be about 3 to 8 tonight. Here's my expectation for tonight. 5 in Oak Ridge, 7 in Morristown, and 9 in Greenville. There will be some very cold air tonight. We're dripping the faucets and opening the cabinetry in your kitchen and bathrooms will also be very, very important. All right, here we go. 7-day forecast. Your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 21 tomorrow, frigid with mountain flakes. 30 on Sunday, down to 4 to start the day. And then we're in the low to mid 50s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And as I mentioned last night, I'll mention again, when we see these lows well above freezing, the low temperatures above freezing like this, that will allow this snow to disappear. If it's not affected by the sunshine on Sunday and Monday we might cloud up on the second half of the day. It's those overnight lows, because the question that keeps coming up is how long, if you've ever spent time in Buffalo or Chicago, when they get snow, it's there all season, right? They stay cold for so long. We've had a cold stretch, but at least we will have a respite, a little bit of a break once we get into the 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday we could be at least in the upper 50s. Some maybe actually, like the Southern Valley, could be above 60, like 61 or 60. Certainly a possibility. But I'm concerned that if we do get some storms and enough humidity from the Gulf of Mexico, they could be strong, possibly severe on Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just wanted to say thank you for your time this morning. A little different. Didn't get on the live stream on Facebook, but hope to fix that. Could be an issue with my equipment, but we'll figure that out. And in the meantime, I want to say thank you for being here. Judy Kerr says, good morning, Captain. Thank you for all you do. And I mentioned Wanda, and she's on there. Needed 97 says, good morning. Glad to have Needed here. Thank you all for watching. And hopefully, if you want to share this link with someone who didn't know that we were on YouTube, only on YouTube today, that's just the way the platform worked for me today. Anyway, thank you for your time. Have a very safe weekend. I will be updating everybody, but more so the premium members. If you need more information, it will be there this weekend. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.